Simpson. And Japan have gone absent without leave. This is Whitmore. Paul and Gale both available. It's still Whitmore. It is the Reggae Boyz who take the lead.
Gunsmen don't know them, marksmen don't know them. Till we say them now, why? Nobody don't know them. I just some papi show them. Nobody don't know them. Them hype up on the people, them we show them the ropes and grow them. Nobody don't know.
Greetings, football lovers, BallChat Weekly family. The one there for Noah Lyles. Noah Lyles, are your tune that? Are your tune that, youth? Greetings, BallChat Weekly family. Welcome to BallChat, the #1 football roundup show. I am Benton. This is BCN Sports, along with the family. George, Wagwan.
I'm here and I'm content. I'm happy. I'm just relaxing.
Maybe I should play on one next tune. Maybe.
No. Yeah, all right.
We soon get to the football discussion. Yo, YouTube, and you can send me whatever you want to send me. Or who? What Sony Records, and you can send me. Where you want to send me. But we haven't got play a clip of the one here. Junior, we haven't got play a clip of the one here.
Who are you going to take out the competition?
No, we don't want to hear the commercial. Yo, Noah Lyles, the tune here for you. All right. YouTube, all right. YouTube, I said, let's get to the football show. Let's get to the football show. Of course, we know Oblique Seville won the 100-meter men 100-meter champion, world champion. Keshane Thompson finished second. So we are celebrate those athletes. And big up to Tina Clayton, who won the silver medal in the women's version. In the women's 100-meter. So, Junior, I think we can take a little risk with you two and just play the tune. And that's what we did.
Yeah. I mean, yo, if they want a flag, them flag we have one. Cause guess what? They can't catch it because we're Jamaican.
You know what, Junior, you know what? Play it again. All right. Enough. All right, let's get to the football show. Football family, we have a jam-packed show. This is the first show. Of course, we're away for the international break. So we're back. Thank you for joining us. And new subscribers, thank you as always. You know, apparently some people like the content during the international break, the watch along. So thank you for subscribing. Thank you for those for smashing the like button. And those who didn't, you know, if you forward again, or aka if you stop by again, you know, please consider smashing the like button and subscribe to the show. Or tell us what we're doing wrong, or what can we do to gain your trust in subscribing. All right, Junior, let's get to it. The show, EPL Roundup, focus on Manchester Derby. Your brethren Ange.
Why?
Your brethren Ange over, that was the game of the week. Your brethren Ange Postecoglou over Nottingham Forest said this is not a project. Liverpool escape according to you. And then we also got Champions League coming up. Lamine Yamal over in La Liga. and what's going on with Football Club Barcelona. The Derby d'Italia, big game. We'll take a look at that game. And Jamaican football as a streaming partner for the Jamaican Premier League kicks off this week. And with One Love TV. Go to One Love TV and check out the subscription options. $4.99 for Sunday day passes, and I think $9.99 a month and $135 for the year. One Love TV, partner for the Jamaican Premier League. Ballers and Bugs. If you have ballers, impressive players of the week, send them on. Bugs, send them on. Of course, we're going to have Jamaican Football Report. Bunny Shaw, of course, started our Women's Premier League with a goal, so we're going to celebrate Bunny Shaw a little later on. Junior, let's start it off with the English Premier League as we normally do. Ballers of the week, family, who do you have? And highlight any ballers and discuss this Man City defeat of Manchester United. 3-0 victory for Man City. Goals from Erling Haaland and Phil Foden. Devil is in the details. Talk to me, family. Your takeaway from this game, things that stood out to you, and things that you thought that didn't go so well for either of these teams, and bugs and ballers that you want to highlight.
Well, my very first baller, I'd have to go to the German Messi himself, Mr. Nick Voldemide. Opened his scoring and actually scored the winner for Newcastle versus lowly Wolves. It was only Wolves. But coming into a
German Messi?
That's his nickname. That's what they call him over in Germany. He's a German Messi.
Oh, okay.
Look it up. That's
and you feel the need to repeat this over here, so why?
It's a little tongue-in-cheek, of course. A little tongue-in-cheek there, of course.
What is that? How do we pronounce it?
Voldemide.
But now
the German Messi. The German Messi.
All right, so your Voldemide is the ball of the week. Other players and things that you want to highlight, football family.
You know who rolled back the clock for me this week is Jordan Henderson, and that ball that he played shot for that led to the goal against Chelsea. Mm-hmm. That first goal.
Yeah. Jordan
Henderson looked like
shot. It's a shot.
But it's a ratted ball in past shot for the goal. So that I give him a ball of the week for that as well. And going over now, I guess we'll soon talk about the match of the day. Yeah, it sounds kind of tongue-in-cheek, but I have to give Donnarumma a ball of the week as well, because he made some important saves today in the Manchester derby. Man City was still going to win, but Donnarumma showed up and showed why Man City invested the money in bringing him in. So those are my ball of the week from England. Over in Italy, though, we have to big up Rasmus Højlund. The man reached Napoli and scored. I say, let me out of here. I scored. Let me out of here at Manchester United. And also, you're going to notice a team towards my ballers of the week. You know who get ball of the week too? Andre Onana. First game for Trapper, whatever they want him. Guess what? They went down to 10 men and he kept a clean sheet against Fenerbahce.
So wait, Rasmus Højlund scored 1 goal and he gets ball of the week.
That's his first goal in probably 10 years.
Okay.
When last Rasmus scored. It's tongue-in-cheek, of course.
And Andre Onana made a few saves over Trabzonspor, and he gets ball of the week.
Please don't underestimate made a few saves. Don't undersell that.
So the next
If I was to tell you Onana is keeping in a game and his team is down to 10 men against one of the best teams in the league, Can he keep a clean sheet? Would you bet against him keeping a clean sheet?
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't lost money. So he gets a ball of the week for me.
Let me ask you this. And so, it's your ballers of the week. So, evidently, football family, smash the like button. For those of you running in, I see you. Go ahead and smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Wherever you're watching us from, big up those in the UK, those in Jamaica, those on the African continent, South America viewers, big up yourself. Junior, are we lowering the standard of the ballers of the week, family?
Well, it's a tongue-in-cheek comment because honestly, I don't see anybody else this week. For me, personally, that I will say, this is my ball of the week. I think I think all the games this week were standard, to be honest. So I'm being tongue-in-cheek, being my anti-Manchester United rhetoric right now, trying to highlight players that have left Man U and seem to be doing better.
Your ball of the week for the Reggae Boyz. Outstanding World Cup. No ball of the week for Zubimendi, scored 2 goals.
No.
Okay.
No. Come on now.
All right. Football family, send out your ballers and bugs. I'm going to give Bunny Shaw a ball of the week for scoring a very good header in the Friday victory over Brighton. Even though the CM Sankey fouled every year with this Man City ladies team, as they suffered a 2-1 defeat in the opening week against Chelsea. But Bunny Shaw gets a ball of the week for me. Big up yourself, but Bunny Shaw. I said it when did we have a watch along? Was it Tuesday night for the Reggae Boyz when they defeat the soup side Trinidad and Tobago, aka soft team, aka team not ready. In fact, they will get a bug. Wait till which of our bugs are unimpressive players of the week, as in Trinidad and Tobago, the Soca Warriors. So, Reggae Boyz, it's not often we do this here at BallChat Weekly or at BCN Sports, but we're going to go ahead and do it. Reggae Boyz gets the ball of the week, man, ball of the window, because a lot of us predicted victories, but we never predicted dominant victories. Reggae Boyz scored what? 6 goals? And conceded none in 2 games. I have to give them ball of the week, Junior. Steve McLaren.
Yep.
Steve McLaren, ball of the week. Mr. Steal It Up man, Steve McLaren. But Junior, who gets the biggest ball of the week in that Reggae Boyz setup?
Do tell.
One Rudolph Speed. Because if it wasn't, you have to play a 3D chess now. If it wasn't for Rudolph Speed being part of the staff of the Reggae Boyz, we would have never seen this unlocking of the offensive powerhouse that is now the Reggae Boyz. Rudolph Speed, big up yourself. We're looking at the data. The data says pre-Rudolph Speed, the side couldn't score any goals. Post-Rudolph Speed from 2 games. Small sample size, but they've scored 6 goals. Ball of the week to Rudolph Speed and the Reggae Boyz, man. Junior, talk to me.
Talk to you about what? That's your ball of the week. I'll leave it alone. You ready for the bugs?
No, we unless the bugs want to culminate with this Manchester United team and the recap of this Manchester United game.
Yeah, we can culminate with the recap of the game, but I don't have any bugs for the game.
Okay.
Actually, I have a bug for the game.
All right,
I have
go
a bug
ahead.
for the game.
Run it. But Manchester United versus Man City 3-0. Man City's victory over Manchester United. And
Ruben Amorim gets bug of the week for me.
Who?
Ruben Amorim gets bug of the week. And
Amorim.
it's going to be for something that probably a lot of people want to think. He's too hard-headed.
Too hard-headed.
And I don't care about the formation. I don't care. I'm not one that, we should play a back. First of all, you have some people out there who seem to believe that Ruben needs to play some other formation, 4-3-3, 4-2, whatever the hell it is. But why would we ask a coach to come in and play a formation that got the last 2 coaches fired? The same players? Well, no, the players are not changing. But majority of these players played that system, failed. Why would you want to go back to that? So that to me is idiotic. But the problem with Ruben Amorim, big up BM. BM have some good points to soon highlight what I'm saying. But what Ruben did is he's forcing Bruno Fernandes to play a position that he cannot play. And this is something that we see through 4 games. He cannot play that form. He cannot play that position. And there's something that is being lost in all of this. What's being lost in all of this is Manu went out and made 3 transfers in, right? The 3 transfers they brought in a striker and they brought in 2 number 10s, Mboma and Cunha. Bruno Fernandes has always played in the Mboma and the Matheus Cunha position, right? While Manu needed a midfielder, Manu need a goalkeeper, some would argue Manu need a wing back, a right wing back. But they went out and bought 3 players, 2 number 10s, right? And Bruno, who is supposed to be your best player, cannot play in his best. He cannot unseat 2 of the players that we just brought in that position. So you have to find a place to play him. And he's playing in a position that he's failing at. And to make it worse, Cunha was hurt. One of the 2 number 10s that you brought in was hurt. But yet Bruno couldn't play in that position today until they're down 2-0. Ruben Amorim is sacking himself. I'm seeing a coach that is trying to get himself fired. And for that, him get bug of the week.
Ruben Amorim said after the game, according to this quote here, says, quote, "I will do everything I can for Man United. This is my message to the fans." He says, "I'm suffering more than them, Junior. I won't change my philosophy. If they, Ineos, wants to change, you change the man." The whole formation and the philosophy of Ruben Amorim. You know, I used to be on this thing about maybe coaches need to adapt, but I think I understand Ruben a little bit here, and because and I think this is 2 years of evolving on this, changing on this topic. Coaches build their name and their success on playing a certain way, a certain formation. It's like you and I, we went to school and you might focus in a certain field and you focus in on this specific area in this field. And Ruben Amorim has focused on playing a back 3. That's his system. Now, I think bottom line is that Manchester United knew the system that Ruben Amorim would play when they went out to hire him. The objective now of Manchester United and Ruben Amorim and the staff, and the not the Ruben Amorim staff, the board members, the man them with the money, give this coach the players to play the system. I mean, just like any manager. If this is, the system the man I play with. So, bug of the week to all the English press who has been clamoring for change in the system. It's like you can't tell a man to change to something which is something that he's not comfortable with.
Right.
Ruben Amorim has cut his teeth playing this system. Very attractive, very offensive, friendly sort of football. Manchester United leadership saw this, brought him in, give the man the thing he needs, the players he needs to achieve the objective. I mean, I don't understand this thing. And I was on the other side of this, and because I used to say, why a big coach supposed to be able to change systems and blah blah. But the bottom line is that if you build your brand, build winning football games playing a certain way, it's hard to just start play 4-4-2 or start play 5-3-2. That's not what you know. You know 3-9-3-4-3. So bug of the week for the English press that I pressure Ruben, and every time him go to the post-match press conferences or pre-match press conferences at the CM Sankey, the CM stores. I mean, come on. I don't know what else to say. You said, as Junior, you said the side's a bug side. They did offer some offensive threats going forward in this game. And they probably should have had a goal or two because they did get behind that Manchester City defense. Now, but it's not something that's unique to Manchester United. Other teams have gotten behind them. But it's just that Manchester United couldn't capitalize on getting behind the City defense.
But you know whose fault that is, right?
Go ahead, Junior. I'm not...
It's a coach's fault and it's a system's fault. Because he's played 3-4-3, the players cannot put the ball in the back of the net. You know what? Because he's played 3-4-3, Bruno just cannot track what name? Phil Foden, Bruno and Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, after getting skinned alive by Doku, just stand up and watch Foden run into an open space. But no, that's a Fabian shot fault. Come on, man.
And a big up Fabi. Fabi says Pep changed when he came to City. He realized he didn't have Messi anymore. And all right. So yeah, fair enough. The Pep changing. I think even one time he did play a double pivot one time. But I would say Pep has the resources. Man City has the resources. One thing that was quite powerful today during the game and during this whole Donnarumma saga, Pep Guardiola signed Claudio Bravo at Man City after he arrived and said, yo, Joe Hart is not my goalkeeper. And then he went and got another high-priced goalkeeper. And then after Claudio Bravo failed, he went and got Edison, another goalkeeper. So changing system is important, but you have to have the resources for change, I think. And I think Pep has been afforded that at Man City. Whereas Ruben, he can't even get the players to play the system where he want, much less. Optimally.
Yeah. Now it's some more time for Manu. I'm not sure somebody come in there. BM says he was on a high this morning like most Jamaicans across the world. Then Manchester United played. Sigh. Bug of the week, Manchester United. What a team, worthless. Ballers of the week, the Reggae Boyz for impressive start in World Cup qualifying. Also, Bunny Shaw for scoring on Friday. Bug, players seem to improve after leaving Manchester United. The jersey must be cursed. Even Garnacho looks like a superstar at Chelsea. What kind of superstar? BSS, I wouldn't give Speed credit for our offense. He's a defensive coach by philosophy. We don't know how not about. We never ever see Speed on camera. So how the hell will I get Speed? You know, lead us for Yawd Ballas. Fabi says you can't have one without the other.
Rebuttal point to BM's point about defensive philosophy of Rudolph Speed. Though that might be true, we're looking at the data point. The Reggae Boyz pre-Speed did not score 6 goals in consecutive games, much less World Cup qualifiers. With Speed, 6 goals, none conceded. Yo, I don't see any other changes occurred in this coaching staff. So, ball of the week to Rudolph Speed, man. Give him ball of the week, Junior.
Sure.
Other Premier League results as we get through. Liverpool defeated Burnley 1-0 in the other game of the day. Burnley just could not hold it, Junior. Penalty later on, definite penalty. Mohamed Salah converted. There's no discussions. Rather than Fergie time, you have Arnie time or whatever, slot time or whatever, slot machine time. Thoughts on this football game?
Do you want the Liverpool perspective or you want the non-Liverpool perspective?
You're not a Liverpool fan, so you can't give Liverpool perspective. So we leave the Liverpool first perspective to Fabi and the Liverpool fan and the Natty and those world.
So you want a non-Liverpool perspective?
You want the
then?
junior perspective, not a Liverpool fan.
The junior perspective is Liverpool is playing with fire. Now they haven't hit their stride yet. They haven't played a complete game. And it is a good thing to be able to say that and still win. And based on their history, being that they are the champions of the English Premier League, and they are the champions until knocked off the perch, they will be ready for that downswing in luck. So when that downswing in luck happens, they'll be prepared based on their history, and they will be able to ride that wave. But right now, they're not clicking. They're just winning because they're just a better team than who they're playing against. But they're not damn blowing doors off. They're not. They're just. I think there's a better Liverpool coming, and that should be scary for the league.
But in totality, that, like you said, at the final point, I think that point that might be the big takeaway here. If they're winning football games and they haven't clicked yet, as you mentioned, which I tend to agree with, then Rastafari, I mean, when they click,
yes,
you do expect. And then Alexander Isak gets mixed into the group. So, I mean, one would expect them to start really go hard and really turn over some people, aka some teams.
Yeah. That is something that, so look for Fabique. You see, that's why I'm careful of talking. Look for Fabi question.
What does Fabi say? Junior, which team blowing doors off?
You answer that question for me, Benton, because it's one obvious answer.
Tottenham did blow off.
Thank you.
Arsenal blew off a door yesterday.
Tottenham.
But didn't Tottenham?
Tottenham has started hot, and Liverpool will already win Premier League already. So if we're not coming second this year, that's not a big deal. Arsenal need to be worried because we haven't seen. It's only one time we've seen a team that came out of nowhere and win the Premier League, right? And that was Leicester. We haven't seen a Leicester-like team for years. It's always been the usual suspects, right? But if you remember that Leicester run, remember Leicester started hot. Remember Jamie Vardy had that tear, right? But one thing that benefited Leicester that year, they didn't have the injury bug beat them, right? And they just had that momentum that they just rode right through the season. There's a strong possibility Tottenham can't possibly have a Leicester run in the middle. And we shouldn't, it's as crazy as it sounds, we should not turn a blind eye to that. And especially with leaving early in the season. Tottenham is going to spend money in January. And if them have this strong run, granted they have a fairly easy schedule to start. They did play against City. But if they can maintain this run going into December, this will give the Tottenham brass a new lease on life and give them a reason to spend heavily in this squad. So look out for that. And with that being said, Liverpool is just trailing there, just there, hanging there. Not even trailing. They're still top of the league. But Liverpool is there, not playing well, but still hanging around. We know Tottenham is going to have that dip in form. And if Liverpool can find themselves soon enough, now granted, incorporating Alexander Isak is going to take time. But they have the resources, they have the wiggle room in terms of roster depth. Because I think we still haven't seen Liverpool's best, obviously. But Isak aside, I don't think we have seen the best Liverpool 11. And that should be a scary statement in itself.
Football family, this is BallChat Weekly football roundup show, or aka soccer. We're taking a look at the weekend that was in the English Premier League, and we have the Derby d'Italia to discuss in a few, and Jamaican football. So hang with us. Make sure to smash the like button. Send a question or comment in if you have a question or comment. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Junior, I hear you. I really hear you. But a part of me regarding this discussion around Liverpool and who's blowing doors off and who started red hot. It's hard for me to read. I said Tottenham, but I went back and looked at Tottenham's schedule and how they started. And Bournemouth defeated them 1-0. And I remember that Bournemouth game. And this was at the London Stadium, at Tottenham Stadium. And I thought Bournemouth should have easily defeated that Tottenham team 4-0. Semenyo missed a few chances. And I cannot distinctly remember Tottenham having leaving any clear-cut chances on the field. And I say all of that to say this. Liverpool is a standard bearer. Arsenal, maybe the other team, and then Liverpool who defeated them. So that's it for me. I'm not gonna really put Tottenham in some place where them not belong.
Fear, but they could have that run in them, and that's the thing.
Yes,
they can have that run in them.
Yes, and that's the thing with the English Premier League. I mean, and then at the start of the season, and it's probably typical. The Liverpool has been consistently constant. They have not been shutting people out by large margins or scoring a bag of goals. But the one thing that remains is the fact that they're winning football games. And the long and short of it, that's the sole objective, right? We thought, at least I thought, that game against Arsenal was the first game for Arsenal after big money transfers to really kind of say, yo, a full trophy this year, we're going to take it. And Liverpool said, no, you're not. We're going to win this football game. So, best team so far, and let's see how that goes about it. But this game against Burnley today was a little bit more difficult than I expected, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and there's something to be said coming back from international break. It's not like Burnley, all the Burnley players went on international break. All the Liverpool players left, so Burnley had an extra week to sit back and plan and put a game plan together for Liverpool, who came back with a short week to get ready. Plus having who they play? Napoli, right? No, not Napoli. They play who they play midweek in the Champions League. Atletico Madrid. Yeah. So they have Atletico Madrid in the back of their mind as well. So it is a professional win by Liverpool, right? And look, we're talking about big side right now. When we talk about Real Madrid, when we talk about Barcelona, when we talk about Liverpool, when we talk about PSG, we don't talk about them in one game increments in the league. We talk about them as projecting out and thinking about where they will fall at the end of the season and how they can have multiple trophies coming in. That's a bracket Liverpool is in right now, you know. But don't understand the Liverpool fans, they think some teasing them and joking with them, but no, I know what. Just because I'm a Manchester United fan that was once a standard bearer, you don't have to think that I'm totally against you, Liverpool guys. Don't worry about it, man. I'm actually with you guys, you know.
I don't think they want you with them, Joe. they don't want to solve this over there. So. Keep it over Old Trafford. Fabi says we played against a team that have all 11 players behind the ball, which they did really well. But Fabi, this is part and parcel a big side. Liverpool will see that against those lower tier teams. I was expecting a few goals earlier on, but the international break probably affected this team, and you know, I do expect once they get running together and blend or assimilating Alexander Isak, even if teams, which I do expect the lower table teams to park on them, they will find ways to unlock those defenses earlier on. So that's part and parcel of being a big side. People are going to park on you. You don't know, say I say continue our EPL roundup. If you have ballers and bugs, ballers, impressive players of the week, unimpressive players of the week, send them on. Junior, I want to touch three more stories in the EPL before we leave. First of all, first story, Tottenham defeated West Ham 3-0. Regard Tottenham, that's it. We don't worry about Tottenham 3-0 victory. On the West Ham side of things, any concern what to do? Bug of the week to Graham Potter, by the way. What to do with this West Ham situation? You just continue as an owner and hope say it get rectified?
Look, in a league, you have to have a winner, and you can't have a winner without a loser. You have to have a top 6 team. You can't have a top 6 team without a relegation team. You can't have a team trying for Europe without having a team that's fighting for relegation. So just because that is your current reality, that doesn't mean we need to blow the whole thing up and change. You have to give these coaches time to implement them system and run something. And I said it during the watch along, I'm going to say it right here. There is no shame in losing to the way you did. There's no shame in it. I'm sorry. So why are we going after Graham Potter's head right now? Potter, he failed at Chelsea, granted, but he was at Brighton. He did well at Brighton. He needs his players and he needs his system to go in. Now, when will you pull the plug on this experiment? I don't know. Everybody have them different metrics. Everybody have them different gauges. But this would be way too early to pull the plug on it. Way too early.
So you are comfortable with Graham Potter remaining as the owner, playing the owner's role of West Ham, and for how long? For the remainder of the season.
Losing to Tottenham 3-0, I would say, yo, let's try to do better. If we lose to Leeds 4-0 at home, then we have a problem.
All right, so match day 1, 3-0 Sunderland. Match day 2, 5-1 Chelsea. That's Sunderland newly promoted at Sunderland. 5-1 at home to Chelsea. 3-0 away, a massive victory over Nottingham Forest. And 3-0 at home to Tottenham. And then next game is against Crystal Palace.
For me, I would have to look at the players' performance and see how the players are reacting to the coach. And at the end of the day, we're not good. Look, take it from me right now. Before, if you asked Julia 15, 20, 10 years ago, I wouldn't be able to understand this plight. But I believe that I am now a specialist in a bug side. And you don't just get up and turn a bug side into a world beater overnight. And a new coach don't come in and turn a bug side into world beating side. It takes time. You're going to have to dip. And some teams have the luxury of having a buffer. West Ham, with the bubble them when them blow in the stands, that's not enough buffering room. Maybe they do need to get relegated. Maybe they really do need to reset the whole damn thing. Look at what happened with Leeds. And what Ruben, I was going to say Ruben ironically sound like Leeds' old coach. But they are Uruguay. He actually sounds like him in the interviews now. If I change, you remember Bielsa when they were telling Bielsa to change his formation? But look at what happened to Leeds. Leeds had to fall all the way out of Premier League just to get back. No, I don't think that will happen to Man U, but maybe that should happen to West Ham. Maybe that's how you have to rebuild yourself to become more consistent. Right. For the life of me, I don't know why something is still at West Ham. Once he got, once Paqueta got off the gambling thing, they should have instantly cashed in on him. Instantly.
Or maybe Graham Potter sees him as a big part of his plans.
What plans though? And this is where coaches, I beg your Prime Minister, this is where coaches need to become more realistic in their expectation. If I sit down with the owners, and owner look at me and say, look, We just get rid of Moyes retire. The coach, what him?
What's out Moyes?
Well, our forced out Moyes. You bring in the coach who used to that the Spanish coach. Him leave. Lopetegui. He left quickly. Bila look on them and say, look, what is your realistic? Let me ask you, the owner, what's your realistic expectation of this team? Well, we want to compete for Europe. All right, owner, everybody want to compete for Europe. Everybody is a team. Let's say 15 realistic teams in the Premier League think that they can compete for Europe. And there's only 5 spots. Or 7 spots. Let's put the Conference League in it. 6, 7 spots. Do you see us as one of the 6 or 7 best teams right now? No, obviously not, because we don't have the money as the big boys. Where do you see us, Mr. Owner? You be as optimistic as you want to be. Where do you see this team? Well, if I'm optimistic or we have some luck, then we could be 9, 8. All right. So that means, Mr. Owner, you are trying to hire me to move us 2 spots. That means you see me as 2 spots with your optimistic point of view. Now, realistically, Mr. Owner, we are crap. We are 20th. So me, in my most optimistic point of view, I am guaranteeing you we finish, we are 15th, 16th at best. But me as coach, remember you hired me for 2 spots. Me as coach, I guarantee you will finish 14th. If you see me hovering below 14, then fire me. But I am not going to sit on here and say, you know what? Bring me in. I will get us to the top 6. Nah, we're not that good. And sometimes the coaches need to have that realistic heart-to-heart conversation with these dumb owners. You cannot throw money at a team and beat a team that is guaranteed top 6. Hey, Junior talk with sense today. People, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.
We are go around the thing and twist up yourself in a pretzel.
What?
Not to hold Graham Harry Potter accountable. This team on opening day, West Ham got butter bruised by Sunderland. This same West Ham team won the Conference League 2 years ago, or 2 years ago with David Moyes, right? What you tell me, say Mikel Antonio and Mohamed Kudus gone and the Steel gone? They still have a core veteran unit. Shustek, Bowen, Lucas Paqueta, Abala, and brother, you're not even competitive. We watch a game one day with West Ham and Chelsea, and you said to me, say, boy, Lucas Paqueta is on a different level with these players. It's like they're not on the same angle. It's like I'm gonna draw a line, and him said, draw the line over there, so next man I draw a line over so. So how is it possible your best player is not on the same wavelength as the rest of the group? And I have world preseason. What is Graham Potter do? What is Graham Potter's role here?
So, and that's a fair point of view, and I will argue it because everybody's approach will be different, right? So I might have a more lenient look. You will have a more strict look. Which is right, which is wrong, I don't know. But in that case, then you would fire Potter. You fire Potter. When you bring in the next coach, how much time are you giving the next coach to turn it around?
All right. If I fire Graham Potter, first and foremost, I will admit as an owner that I made a major mistake letting go David Moyes.
That's your third mistake.
Well, I should have hired Julian Lopetegui from jump.
Right.
That was another mistake. Because Julian Lopetegui is not up to scratch for what I need. If I am getting Graham Potter, if I'm getting rid of Graham Potter, I'm taking and hiring a manager who actually, I believe, can build something even if we get relegated. Because, all right, Graham Potter success at Brighton, to me, leaves a lot of questions around what going on at Chelsea and what I'm seeing of Graham Potter now. Which one is the real Graham Potter and what I'm seeing of Brighton since Graham Potter left? Graham Potter's Brighton has done well without Graham Potter. So that tells me that Brighton went out and got Fabian Holzer at 32 years old, or 37 years old brother, an American brother from Texas, who that coach one side on Germany. And Brighton still a play ball and a beat big teams. Beat Man City what day. Graham Potter has been heralded as big manager. Got Chelsea and a pay bugs me see on the eye. All right, then we say, all right, we maybe Graham Potter, maybe this toxic culture at Chelsea is too much for Graham Potter. Fear. He took a break, he got fired, he took a break, boom bam, him taking time and reset. But now he has taken a job at West Ham and opening day, Sunderland, newly promoted, kick out them teeth. And then in the London derby against Chelsea, a game which historically has been competitive between these two teams, at West Ham, Chelsea could have given them 10. I mean, I say, weird. The Forest victory is an outlier here. And I wonder if this Forest victory is truly a success of West Ham, or was it just mediocre Forest with Nunes probably on the verge of getting sacked or being unsettled? I don't know. But what I saw is that now West Ham is back to being who West Ham has been. 3 games, the man them conceded what? 11 goals already?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel sorry for coaches then, because a coach has to come in and this won't be good for football. This won't be good for Premier League football, because what's going to end up happening now is eventually, actually, I'll mute that argument, because the payout is so huge. A coach will take any job because they negotiate such a huge payout that they have a great windfall. So I don't know. You have to have a winner, you have to have a loser. And it's unfortunate that Graham Potter keep losing instead of getting his chance to win. But I just don't think it's fair. I think coaches need more time, and we need to be realistic with our expectations. That's me personally.
And I will give Graham Potter a bit of leeway, because I will say, just like you said, there's a lot of age in this team. James Ward-Prowse not supposed to depend on one team right now or compete in the Premier League. He probably should return to Southampton and just kind of play out his last years, try help Southampton get promoted. But you have a general in Lucas Paqueta. You have Edson Alvarez, the steel of Mexico's defensive midfield. You signed centre backs. I mean, I say, what kind of idiot team this? Speaking of idiot team,
they can't put it together.
Speaking of idiot team, Junior, we're not the Premier League roundup, and 3 things that I want to ask you before you take away yourself. Before we step out of the Premier League, Aston Villa, another manager, another team. Do you have more leniency for Unai Emery and Aston Villa, or you have a little more harshness towards him? Aston Villa started the season 0-0 draw with Newcastle, suffered a 1-0 defeat to Brentford, 3-0 against, pick up 3s from Crystal Palace, and drew 0-0 with Everton. They're sitting 19th in the Premier League, haven't scored a single goal in 4 games, conceded 4 goals.
I don't know why we're surprised. Them sell half them team, What I'm really surprised at though is, and I want to big up Martinez, Emmy Martinez.
Fabi Frana just said that, I meant if correct, Alvarez gone at Turkey on loan. Thank you, Fabi. Edson Alvarez. Thank you.
But that even make it more of a viable offense though that you get rid of your best midfielder. But for Aston Villa, big up Emmy Martinez because he was the reason why they drew that game with Everton. Jack Grealish seemed to find a new lease on life at Everton, created some good chance, but Emmy Martinez makes some good saves. And I had to say he was being ushered out of Aston Villa. They were trying to run him out of the team. And he still stuck around and be very professional and played a good game and saved Aston Villa blushes. Now, with that being said, what the hell is Unai Emery doing? I questioned it when the Colombian left.
Yeah, John Duran. Yeah.
John Duran, when he left, and he said John Duran gone wayward now. But at that time, I was like, why the hell would John Duran leave? You and Ali Watkins are at odds, but you are producing. Why would you leave? Then them get rid of the youth that was at Bayer Leverkusen with Leon Bailey. My name? Diaby?
Musa Diaby.
Musa Diaby. They got rid of Diaby.
They got rid of Musa Diaby, and of course, Leon Bailey is on loan.
No, but when they got rid of Diaby, we said, oh, that means that they're putting all their eggs in Leon Bailey basket. Remember, that's what we said on BallChat, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
I would say
basically Diaby, you know, it was a direct competition for Leon. Yeah.
For Leon, yeah. But then, don't get rid of Leon. Remember, they wanted to get rid of Ali Watkins. They wanted to get rid of Ali Watkins. Ali Watkins had never been at odds since PSG's first round game last year in the Champions League. And look at that now. Ali Watkins is still there running around getting kicked down for nothing. You have to wonder what is going on in the back room at Aston Villa. It's easy to blame Unai Emery because he is the face of leadership. He's the face of admin, right? He's the face of administration. He's the only face recognizable in leadership for Aston Villa. But I have to wonder what the hell them doing in the admin room. What is the plan? Are they willing to give up this season to build back a squad? Because that has to be the only expectation. The only explanation right now is, we have a 2-3 transfer window plan. We're going to clean out the squad and then take the next transfer window for build it back. So we don't care about top four. We know we're not qualifying for Europe next year. So all we have to do is make sure we're not finishing in the bottom 3. Is that the idea? That's the thing that is kind of mulling in my mind right now. And it's easy. It is easy to blame Unai Emery. But I have to ask questions about the backroom staff. What the hell are you guys doing? If I was a Villa fan, what the hell are we doing?
Bug of the week, Unai Emery. Ballers and bugs. If you have ballers, send them on. Impressive players, teams, coach of the week, send them on. If you have bugs, send them on. Unimpressive players, teams, coach. Junior, Unai Emery and Villa, based on this formation, 4-2-3-1. John McGinn is on the right side of that tree. So you tell me now, John McGinn is almost kind of deployed as a right winger and you had Leon Bailey there?
But we're going to this formation conversation again.
No, a bigger question. Sorry, Junior, before you answer this. Bigger question is, you brought back Bondia, big up to Bondia, who had a bad injury. This team, and one of the big things in football is that wingers have significant influence on the game. Aston Villa played this game without any noticeable wingers and started the game without. And you had Bailey, Musa Diaby. What happened? Why you just let go your wingers then? You not play winger football no more.
I guess and want to play direct football. I don't know. So there's this is weird not having access to coaches and coaches telling their tactics. This is where it hurts because we are now left to our keyboard coaching, our sitting down in the couch coaching ideas, and we have no idea what Unai Emery is trying to do. And we all we can do is sit and guess, and based on how they are deployed, if we're not at practice, we're not there looking at a tactical board. There's so much missing, though. There's so much context missing around Aston Villa that we just have to say why and what. Big up Tony. Tony says Arsenal fully loaded this season. BM says Unai seems confused. Tony also says Villa have FFP problems they will spend next season. I've heard that, and Fabi said that too. Fabi says PSR mash up Villa. They loan Bailey without a replacement. I've heard that. And maybe that's money football kicking in. Maybe. So I've heard that argument. And it's logical. It makes sense. No, I would love, and maybe they already did, and maybe we missed that report because we're not in Aston Villa parts. Maybe they came out and said that and said, look, it's going to be rough, but I would love to hear some explanation. But that could be it.
I mean, there are multiple reports out there about the financial struggles of Aston Villa and how they need to offset and fix the books. Yo, but hear me. That aside, offset and fix books doesn't mean that you sacrifice winning, because I don't see this team winning football games as currently constructed. You have Rob Olsen as a backup number 2 goalkeeper. Get rid of Emi Martinez as probably the biggest transfer you have in the squad. You should have gotten rid of him. Move him off of the books. Matty Cash is a bug. Move him off of the books. Keep Leon Bailey in-house. Leon Bailey also have a high salary, but keep Leon Bailey. You're not going to win football games setting up this area. Ali Watkins. Him going to starve to get service. So who are going to score the goals?
Yeah. But at the end of the day, though, it's not a race to the top 3 or top 6 or top 7. It is a race out of the bottom 3.
And
so maybe
out of the bottom 3.
Yeah, so maybe they say, look.
And Fabi brought up something very important. The Fabi says they wanted Asensio to replace Bailey, but the price was too much. And this Asensio thing is probably one of the reasons why Aston Villa put themselves in it's not just unique to Asensio. Yo, Aston Villa took players on loan, high-priced players. When you probably now cover them on their salary, brother. Offload some of these. I think they took a Marcus Rashford, Asensio on loan to achieve certain objectives of making Champions League and get more money this year. That the gamble don't work. Another gamble was like, don't take those high-priced salaries on loan. Offload some of these high-end, high-priced salaries and start build genuine players to compete football games. Because right now, Marcus Rashford and him big salary gone to Barca. I get run around. Asensio did not impact to make the Champions League. They didn't take you where you needed to go. And that's the Unai Emery gamble.
Yeah, and that loss at Manchester United last year looks even worse right now at the end of the season.
Yeah, man.
Remember, that's how they got kicked out of Europe. You know?
Yeah. Imagine. The side where we just call bug side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's watch a space regarding Aston Villa and see how they go about it. But it's very puzzling. I don't think Unai Emery is on the hot seat, but Junior, we have to watch one there closely. Other EPL news.
Clearly there's a plan. Clearly there's a plan there.
All right. Final team. I said 3 things. I have 3 teams I want to ask you about. Brentford, Chelsea, 2-2. Any thoughts on this game? Chelsea gave up a late goal, the 93rd minute. Fabio Carvalho scored. I mean, I could not be happier for the kid. Of course, we know that he came up to the Liverpool ranks Didn't work out at Liverpool. Been struggling. Scored a goal in the winner. Hopefully that can elevate his confidence. But Ethan Pinnock was monumental with some blocks in this game for Brentford.
Hey, the one of João Pedro. Not João Pedro.
How they cut in? Pedro Neto?
Pedro Neto bust him salad, go on, cut it back in, and then make a big save. That's a huge.
I thought him the gone, but his recovery was. I thought he was gone, left for dead, as in Ethan Pinnock, but somehow he recovered and blocked that shot. I was like,
Yep. That big, but Brentford. Like I said earlier, I gave Jordan Henderson ball of the week. Jordan Henderson showed glimpses of his old self, and that pass that he made to Shad was inch perfect, and that finish was so good. Chelsea as good, and João Pedro, and I think shout out, give a big up to my boy up on the panel, Tim Howard. Tim Howard said João Pedro looks better in the 10 than he does at 9. And it's true. João Pedro for Chelsea looked more menacing when he came back and got the ball in the midfield. With that being said, though, that's where Cole Palmer lives. And Chelsea didn't do much until Cole Palmer came on. They have a bit of a problem at Chelsea, where they just can't seem to find that cutting edge without Cole Palmer. And they're a little bit too dependent on him. And Brentford, they can feel somewhat unlucky. I mean, they scored first, had a little bit of a better run. Chelsea did create some good chances, couldn't convert until Cole Palmer came on. Cole Palmer came on, scored. Big up Garnacho came on and provided a spark that got Caicedo the goal. But then the gift that giveth is the gift that taketh. And Garnacho was the one who did not track Carvalho on the back post and gave up that goal. And it was so funny leading up to that goal. They kept talking about the long throw. And how many times did Chelsea, we saw the Chelsea keeper, and I look around and yo, how many times he saw the ball came in the box and the goalkeeper Fred. So it was almost like we saw it coming. And it was a good game, but it wasn't to me, it's a game that Chelsea should have never had. They should have won that game comfortably, and they didn't. So Fabi says Henderson showed in that game why Tuchel picked him for England. His leadership showed in that game. I agree. BM also said Bailey is injury prone and on the decline. I think Villa made the right choice.
Enzo Maresca says, quote, I think we did enough to win the game. In the second half, we scored twice. We could have scored 2 or 3 more goals. There was the Cole chance, the Pedro chance. Actually, yeah, that was the one where Cole Palmer just boxed the ball to Keller and goal. So I think we did enough. Unfortunately, we lost 2 points just in the last 3 minutes. And Chelsea was missing Estavio, who I think picked up an illness in this game. Leading up to this game, returned from Brazil with an illness or something like that. As for Chelsea, okay, we'll see how they go about it. They play Manchester United this week, which I think is a game that they need to win, as in Chelsea. As for Brentford, I know the manager, I think his name is something Andrews or whatever, is under a bit of pressure, but Brentford lost. They're probably 2 lethal players. Offensively, Mboma and Wissa. Wissa is at Newcastle, and Mboma, of course, is at Manchester United. And of course, I think they also lose. I think Damsgaard out of that midfield went to Arsenal. So Brentford has a lot of holes to fill, big holes, and so if Carvalho can get going, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I think they did pick up Quatara. I think, but we will see how Brentford go. I think Brentford needs to be Dango Otara. They did pick up Dango Otara. Brentford need to be very careful.
Yeah.
All right, before we leave Premier League, looking at the table, family, and what's ahead, early warming, anything that you want to mention regarding the Premier League before we take over ourselves? Liverpool on top, perfect in their 12 games. Arsenal second after defeating Nottingham Forest, and Wolverhampton at the bottom. Wolverhampton has played well, just can't find a way to win a football game.
Yeah, my takeaway though is that the way how football has changed. Normal in the Premier League, coming out of the first international break, which kind of coincides with the transfer window closing, you don't normally have that much questions left for teams. You kind of know who teams are coming out of the transfer window, and we know. Let's see what the run will be going up to the next transfer to December. Like we said in the watch along, next week we're going to have a lot of questions that get answered. We're going to see if Arsenal is for real this year. We're going to see if Man City can say we are not dead yet. We're going to see how David Moyes and Everton fare against Liverpool. We have some exciting games coming up, exciting storylines. You talk about Chelsea and Man U. You said Chelsea need to win. I think Man U need a result versus Chelsea next week. So the table is one thing. I think that the Premier League challengers are who they are. I don't think the table cannot dictate that right now. But what the table shows is that there's some parity there. There are some teams that have some work to be done to catch up to Liverpool. But that aside, I think there are more questions than answers right now.
Nottingham Forest. One thing. Anything you want to say about Nottingham Forest and Andrew Postecoglou? He was asked about implementing his system. Of course, Nottingham Forest picked up 3-0 from Arsenal in the early morning kickoff on Saturday. Postecoglou says that he do expect to have a system implemented by the midweek game. They play Swansea in a midweek League Cup or something like that game. Is that a little bit?
I don't like.
Little bit too
I don't
early
like
there?
what. Way too early, and Ange bit the bait, and but that's just Ange being Ange. Because we've seen him bite this bait at Tottenham many times last season. Yo, but new to the team. I don't have a preseason. Let's see how it goes. Keep it moving, right? But that aside, I don't like what happened at Nottingham Forest. I really don't like it. And if you're going to fire Nuno, do it. Nuno was the first coach we thought would be fired, leaving the season last year. That was open and shut. If we were to bet, we would say there's no way Nuno starting the season as Nottingham Forest coach. What could have transpired between the incident that happened on the field to preseason to the exit interview? What could have transpired then to make that owner say, you know what? All right, let's give you another chance. Because Ange did get released by then. So it's not like
No.
No, I'm talking about Ange. Ange left Tottenham by the exit interviews for Nottingham Forest.
Okay.
For the end of the last season. I'm talking about what could have happened between the blow up on the field with Nuno and the owner to the exit interviews for Nottingham Forest and the players and the coach. Why would the owner keep Nuno through preseason, through the start of the season, through 2-3 games, and then decide to get rid of him? It's almost like you're hurting yourself. when you could have already switched over to Ange from off season? We knew Ange was going to be fired. We covered that on this show. We said it at the time. It was the worst kept secret. Ange wasn't surviving at Tottenham. We even had Max come on, people come on, and not Max, but we had people come on and, well, I was talking to Max, way off here, and Max said, Tottenham did not want to win the Europa League, the Europa Cup. Based on the way of how they do transactions and business, they didn't want to win the Europa League. And they end up winning. That's a joke, but that's something that Max said. So we had this discussion off air and on air months ago. So if Nottingham Forest owner likes Ange Postecoglou, wants Ange Postecoglou to be my coach, talk to him from then and get rid of Nuno in the off-season and give them on the off-season, give them on a transfer window. You bring the money in at the end of the transfer window, out of the international break, give him such a hard game, and know he's behind the 8 ball. And God go with him if the Nottingham Forest players don't like him, because now you're just setting him up for failure. I don't like it.
I asked how long it will take until we see a Forest side playing in his image. Postecoglou said, quote, Wednesday, mate, against Swansea. I can't afford to waste time. This is not a project. I'm not going to let it take long. We've got an unbelievable opportunity to make an impact. End quote. So he says by Wednesday he expects this group to be playing in his image. And this is not a project. He doesn't have a lot of time. I think I agree with everything you said for the most part. There's also this other question that I have though. Nuno said something I think last season. Or maybe it's the beginning of the season, where he said him and the manager, him and the owner not talk. The relationship, basically them malice, them top chat. So my thing is that if the boss stop chat to you, if the owner stop chat to the head manager, Nuno Espirito, the only way Nuno is probably hanging around is so them can find him, so he can get him pay out, him win for. That's probably, because I think he probably even joked about it, that why it's something I forgive. So to me, Nuno probably just hung around and said, well, yo, I just a day I do the work until they fire me and them can pay me out. And then Marinakis, the owner of Forest, was probably trying to hold out not to fire him because him no want to pay him out. And then eventually him say, you know what, one day, because it's a very fiery brother, based on things that we have seen in Marinakis, that is. The personality is almost like island water. Marinakis is very fiery, in your face, whereas Nuno is more chill, relaxed, laid-back type of manager. A man say, yo, one day, I'm probably just like, yo, Nuno need to take him cloud from the side. And I think this is where it's at with, I don't know. Good luck to Ange. I think he's really putting his reputation on the line here, taking up the side. Because for what he did with Tottenham, at Tottenham historically that has been bugged. To achieve something, to now just run up and take in this Forest team. Good luck to him. Good luck to him. Junior, stepping away from the EPL. Any final things you want to say from the EPL?
No, done.
Gone. All right. Derby d'Italia, Juventus versus Inter Milan. Game ended 4-3. By the way, before we leave the EPL, ball of the week to Moises Caicedo. Excellent goal from outside the 18-yard box. Very good work inside that midfield. So I want to give Moises Caicedo a ball of the week. But in the Derby d'Italia, Junior, what a ball game, back and forth. Your thoughts on that one as I try to get that respective out.
I think my biggest takeaway from this Derby win, or this Derby result, is PSG really knocked the shine off of Inter Milan. You know? I don't think Inter Milan. I don't think their allure has their aura has not recovered from that Champions League final. Because I would never think, now granted, it's not the same Inter Milan team, granted, but I would never think Inter Milan would give up 4 goals. To Juventus is and worse, giving up a goal at the death like that. The only way I can describe it is they are still trying to figure out what happened in the Champions League final. That's my best explanation. Because this Inter Milan team has gone from controlling football games all the way from last year to now just a run round like chicken with them head cut off. That's how I can describe that game. Juventus and them went back and forth, toe to toe. But in my opinion, I don't think Juventus belong in the same stratosphere as Inter Milan right now, in my personal opinion.
A goal also from Adzich at the end in the 92nd or 91st minute was a ratted goal from way outside the box that beat Jan Sommer. Junior, we often discuss cycles in our World Cup qualifiers. We also discuss at length sometimes windows for players. And I think with this Inter Milan team, I think the window is closing. When you look at this team, they made a transfer. They bring in Manuel Akanji from Man City. It's like you add an old man to a nursing home.
Yes.
It's like you could have get one young boy defender just for offset and help, you know. But you know, just put in one ex-old man in it.
Yeah.
Acerbi, Bastoni, Mkhitaryan, Calagiolo, Barella, Dumfries, Augusto, Lautaro Martinez, Marcos Thuram, and now Christian Kivu as the manager. I think Christian Kivu have to go get fee inside. He has to get his players.
I think Christian Kivu we have to convince them players here to play stronger so they can keep him job. Because I don't think they'll have a long leash on Kivu. And I think that kind of goes. You move on from Inzaghi, or Inzaghi to Kivu, and look at what Inzaghi did up until the Champions League final. Now Kivu have to come and replicate that. That's not an easy thing. I would not want that position. I would want the coaching job after Kivu. Make Kivu go there and fail, and then me take over after. Yeah, let me take over after him. Because you look, you lost in the Champions League final last year. That's the worst. The worst thing that could happen last year. What's the worst that can happen this year compared to last year? If you don't win the Scudetto, well, Napoli won last year. So what is the expectation for Inter Milan this year?
Well, if you keep the group together, the expectation is, because I saw last year that in this Inter Milan team and with Simeone and Inzaghi centered or focused heavily on trying to win that elusive Champions League trophy. They've already won a few Scudetto titles. I think, 2 under his watch. So they focused heavily. They went to, this was their second Champions League final when Onana did not goal for them when Man City beat them, right? So I think this group, Lautaro Martinez and company, hell-bent and focused on trying to win that Champions League final. And they came so close last year. And I think this team is now at its end. It's this. I think Christian Kivu Kivu a baller. He's a good manager with some potential. I mean, he must have taken it under the guys that, I'm going to try with the side here now, but soon as we start lose some games, we can tell, say, boy, we need to give me a chance to rebuild the thing. I would presume Christian Kivo and his agent must have incorporated something like that in their contract.
No, BM, true. But BM brought up something from the Juventus perspective when he said, what are your thoughts on Juventus keeping Vlahovic and buying Jonathan David? It was rumored they would sell him. Also, Juve got Openda on loan. It would be interesting to see how Juve manages all three strikers this season. Listen, Jonathan David is injury prone. Need I say more? Well, not injury prone, but the hype is there. But is the hype still there for Jonathan David?
CONCACAF hype. He had that good year in the French league where he scored 20 goals. Many thought that he would have moved immediately after that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Jonathan David is still Jonathan David. But this brother Vlahovic was one thing. The next best thing since sliced bread have not lived up to the hype. I mean, he has not. In fact, was it 3 years ago, 4 years ago? He was probably the most heavily recruited striker.
And Juve wanted Xerxes at one point too.
Yeah, so Juventus, the old lady, has made a lot of investments. Juventus, the old lady, has to find a way to start winning the Scudetto and actually start winning some of these big money games, aka to offset some of these financial investments that they have made. They have some good young players. Like Yildiz is a very good young player. But you don't want to get rid of Yildiz because you could build a team around him. So, yeah. I mean...
I'm not thinking about Alphonso Davies. BM says he's not injury prone. He had the ankle years ago. I don't know why I think he's injured. For Jonathan David, I just remember 1 year from him, hype year, and that's about it. BM says Jonathan David is his baller. He's a proper number 9 who also gets a lot of assists.
Why, the one still, Yo, hear me this. My assessment of Jonathan Davis. I think Jonathan Davis is a cheap man striker. A poor man number 9. If you cannot get the real number 9, and you have about five boxes of bag juice, you can go get Jonathan David. He will be serviceable. My biggest criticism of Jonathan David is this. If I have one goal to score, and I give Jonathan David that opportunity to score, I do not guarantee that Jonathan David will score it. And that is my concern for Jonathan David, as wanting to take that step into the next stratosphere, the next level as a striker. No, he's a serviceable striker in a landscape, in a marketplace where there are not a ton of goal scorers. So he will eat our food. I will pay 5 boxes of bag juice for him and keep him on the bench and then utilize him as a sub. And I think that's what Juventus has done. Juventus has pretty much said that, Vlahovic not living up to my expectation. So I need somebody who can actually score some goals and probably can put some pressure upon Vlahovic. But I don't see Jonathan David really starting over him.
Yeah. BM says, no Benton, no Dumbala that. Best striker in CONCACAF.
Yo, give Warner Brown a few more games and Warner Brown soon jump over him.
No, give Brown man.
Oh, okay. All right, okay, Junior. Okay. All right, standing in Juventus, Napoli stand top with 3 games, 3 perfect record. Juventus also with a perfect record. I dare to ask this question, Junior. Is the old lady back?
Until proven otherwise, I would say they are close. But Napoli seem to be building something. Now, granted, they have a bunch of old men and some players with to to prove a point. But is Juventus back? Until proven otherwise, they are 1A to Napoli, or 1B to Napoli 1A. I'll put it that way.
Gasperini. I want to leave Scudetto, but I want to ask about Gasperini and Roma. Gasperini has spent a long time building Atalanta. So he's now at Roma after leaving Atalanta. Junior, do you like the switch? Because there's not much difference between these two teams to me. It's like you got two places up.
No, there's a big difference. At Atalanta, not in history, but Atalanta at the time was miles ahead of Roma. So this is a step down.
Okay.
So it's a big difference. Now, can he replicate?
Or will he be given
We'll
the
see.
time to replicate what he
Thank
did
you.
at
'Cause
Atalanta?
that is where I was leading towards. Will he get the time? He will get the time only if his investments, his early investments, bring great returns. You can't miss on your early transfers. So Leon Bailey better hit. I'll put the pressure solely on Leon Bailey's feet. He better hit. Or else Gasperini might end up in some hot water. So we'll see.
But I mean, Gasperini is a proper manager. I mean, many regard Gasperini as one of the tacticians in this business, a true old school manager. So maybe Leon can really learn something from Gasperini and continue to develop his game. I mean, Paulo Dybala is still there.
Paulo Dybala is still there. Really. It's a symbiotic relationship though for all the biology heads out there. You can learn from Gasperini provided that you give Gasperini the time to learn from him. So you Bailey better come forward with something. Not only Bailey, the whole team better forward with something that he can survive long enough to implement his system.
All right, let's see. But I give the old man credit, the elder Gasperini credit for stepping away from Atalanta. I mean, I'm sure that City will celebrate him when they do play, or maybe they'll cuss out him, Claude. But we know the work that he did with that team. I mean, he did a lot of good things building that Atalanta team. It's curious to me to see how Ademola Lookman goes about it without him and Ruggieri. I
remember Roma lose this week.
Yes. Roma lost to Torino. So I'm curious to see how this new Atalanta team goes without him, and somebody can correct me if Ademola Lookman is still there, because I didn't see him on the starting 11 this week. So somebody else can highlight that. All right, Champions League coming up this week. The restart of the Champions Football Junior. I mean, the new format. These teams will play six games, and I don't remember exactly how it go, but them will play it randomly. All right. Games that you're looking forward to this week. We have games on Tuesday.
To answer your question though, Lookman is still there.
Okay.
The transfer to Inter Milan fell through, so he's still there.
He's still there.
At Atalanta.
Okay. Maybe the marquee game on Tuesday. Juventus versus Dortmund. Real Madrid versus Marseille.
No.
On Wednesday, the marquee game, Bayern versus Chelsea.
Yes. And the only reason why I'm going to say that is because, when Liverpool play Atletico Madrid?
On Wednesday.
So that might be a bigger game. Even though a Man City Napoli
is on Thursday.
It's a decent game. But the thing that Chelsea has is that Chelsea is entering this game as the world champions.
Okay.
So that carries some weight to them being a target. So yeah, that Chelsea game, that Chelsea Bayern game is something to look at.
I see BM making a case for Jonathan David. Roll out his stats, yes, BM. Roll out. Has 37 goals and 20 assists in 69 games for Canada. I mean, it's a good serviceable striker for Canada. Definitely, Jonathan David, and he did quite well for Lille. 109 goals in 232 games. You know what? A man scored 109 goals as a forward in a 232 games. Is that good, though? We need to actually kind of start, maybe set a standard. What we consider a good striker. What number in 232 games would you consider good, Junior? 109 good? If you're a striker, a 9.
If you score a goal every 3 games, that's good.
Okay.
For me, you're a serviceable striker if you're scoring a goal in every 3 games.
And maybe the Holland thing mash up my meds.
Yeah, the Holland thing I mash up it. Because a goal a game is ridiculous.
Yeah.
A goal every 2 games is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And then regarding the Champions League games that you keep an eye on, Man City versus Napoli on Thursday, and Arsenal, Newcastle versus Barcelona, Junior. Barcelona is pretty upset with the Spanish Federation regarding Lamine Yamal. Seems like he's out of this game. Hansi Flick is pretty ticked off. Barca faithful are saying, Barca fans are saying that it's almost the implications are they're implying that the Spanish national team overplayed Lamine Yamal when they didn't need to.
That's the endless country versus club debate that keeps going on. And I think the player have to come in at some point and make that decision and shut both sides down. The player should be the one that determines if he can play, yes or no. I mean, the players, them seem to have all this power elsewhere. Why do we still have this archaic club versus country argument? Take it up with FIFA.
Now.
Huh?
It says Deco joined the protest over Lamal's injury.
Yeah, whatever.
How long is he out for, though?
I don't know. What if they have grind problem, right?
All right, he says, quote, Deco says, quote, we agree with what coach said because Lamine Yamal is important for both us and for the national team. Everyone needs to take a little more care. And so that's the big thing that Hansi Flick and Deco are saying is that he's such an important player for both teams and the workload is probably a bit too much for this player. And again, in a game that basically was meaningless game when they already secured the victory.
Yeah, but then if that argument goes for him, that argument should go for all. So if in that case, if it's a meaningless game, just forfeit the game, postpone it, forfeit it, not postpone, forfeit the game. So you can't you can't. There's no winner in this argument. The player have to determine: can I play? Do I want to play? Do I want to continue playing? That's where it should end, in my opinion.
Fair enough. This Barca versus Newcastle game on Thursday. Any thoughts on this football game? Newcastle trying to get right with no Valdemid and Wissa. Do they have enough attacking power to compete with this football club Barcelona team?
My parents have a very popular saying for us where growing up with them say, yo, dance a yard before you dance abroad. So Newcastle, you're just playing the game because it's scheduled. But Newcastle fans, no matter the expectation, brother. Just be happy you're on the field with the famous Barcelona jerseys. And if you get a 4-love or 4-1, just take it on one. Now, if you find a way to get some result out of it, then be happy. But no, Benton.
The game is at Newcastle, Junior.
I don't.
Is that St. James Park?
The game could have played in the Newcastle owner backyard. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Is Newcastle, let me ask you this then. Champions League is the top 6 team, top 5 teams in England. Is Newcastle currently playing as one of the top 5 teams in England?
No, definitely not.
They're not. So they don't belong in the Champions League. So they're gonna have fun, Newcastle. Simple.
But we did saw their new striker scored a very good goal over the weekend.
Against Wolves. And I gave him ball of the week, but I did say it's still only Wolves. So go out there and prove me wrong, get a result, get behind the crowd, get behind the Newcastle crowd, get behind the team, go out there, get some result against Barcelona. What does a result look like? I don't know, but get a result against Barcelona. And only come tell me next week, so he's an idiot. But I'm not betting on it.
Chelsea visits Bayern Munich, the Munich Arena on Wednesday, Junior. Any worry for Chelsea in this game? I mean, will Nicholas Jackson play in this game? No, he's on loan.
No.
Shouldn't play in this game.
Well, he can come on in the last 10 minutes if they're up big. And because he can play for Bayern Munich in the Champions League.
Oh, he can.
Yeah, he can come on and play.
Some rules. Well, they normally kind of work out in the domestic league, But
domestically, you can't tell what for doing at Europe. You're crazy.
Yeah, it's not a rule. It's just a thing they negotiate.
Yeah.
Any predictions or any thoughts on this? You said what?
It all hinges on Cole Palmer. Because one thing about Bayern Munich is a machine. So if Chelsea go out there and intend to play anywhere like they played today or yesterday, Bayern Munich can run the score heavy on them. Heavy. So they better be very careful and put it that way. But this is the world champions Chelsea. No, this is not English Premier League Chelsea. This is world champions Chelsea that played against. So
yeah,
we'll see.
FIFA Club World Champs Chelsea. All right, as we go on, we're heading to Jamaican Football Report, Yawd Ballas segment, highlighting some of the news in Jamaican football. Want to big up Bunny Shaw, who scored a goal for Man City ladies this weekend. Bunny Shaw scored in a 2-1 victory. Junior, as discussed at the top end of the show, new partners for the Jamaican Premier League, new streaming partners, One Love TV, extensive broadcast, over 160 matches across 80 game days. There's been at the press conference occurred in the middle of the week. They said that the money will go into the clubs or into the league. I thought that was always the case, Junior. It says funds from the JPL broadcast deal to benefit the clubs. I thought this is Wade Brown from REFM article. Isn't that always the case? Wasn't the funds from the broadcast deal historically benefit the clubs?
Yeah, but what that is though is that before you never had the league being broadcasted on YouTube, where you have a more global reach. So I think there's semantics in that statement. I think it's a marketing statement, and you just poked holes in their statement. But then I think the rebuttal will be, or the retort will be, well, people never used to see JPL on YouTube, which is global, which have more eyes, more reach. So this now give them an opportunity to bring in more money that will go to the clubs versus before when it was on something we just shut down.
TV, then you have Sportsmax. I think Sportsmax.
Sportsmax.
Right.
Sportsmax is only for Sportsmax customers. Right now, it's for YouTube customers. Granted, you have to pay a subscription, but if you can get to YouTube, you have an opportunity to watch the Jamaican Premier League.
I mean, I don't know if I don't know if it will be on YouTube. I'm looking at the channel here. It says onelovetv.com is the website. I tried to look at a YouTube page for One Love TV, and I was unsuccessful. So I don't know.
I could have sworn it was back to a YouTube. Hold on.
So let me know, family. So the streaming packages for the Jamaican Premier League, as we give some free advert to One Love TV, $4.99. It says there's a package. No, it says subscribe now, $4.99. Package starts at $4.99. And I mean, I think bottom line, if we want to support the league, I mean, at the end of the day, we need to put on some money and support the league.
Yeah, but I'm trying to find them now because I could have sworn YouTube was backing it.
I clicked the subscribe. It says $139.99 for a JPL season streaming pass. Access all live stream games on onelovetv.com. And you can do a $9.99 monthly streaming pass. Games are accessible on onelovetv.com. And you can do a monthly streaming pass Sunday only for $4.99. So there's a monthly streaming pass today for $4.99. So they might run a deal right now. So if you
my apologies then. My apologies. I could have sworn they were backed by YouTube, but I guess not.
You know, so the games will be streamed on onelovetv.com. Of course, they're kick off the streaming season of the Jamaican Premier League for One Love TV with the mouth-watering matchup. Well, it could be mouth-watering, I don't know. Rematch of last year's final between Mount Pleasant and Cavalier. And the game ended Mount Pleasant defeated Cavalier 2-1. We have...
Wait, them come back and take the lead?
Yeah, so Mount Pleasant, yeah, and won the game too.
Rotted. I was following it. Cavalier was leading 1-0. It was up. So Green scored in the 79th minute and
yes,
Edward scored in the 90th minute. Wow.
Yes. So Ainsworth gave Cavalier the lead on the 33rd minute, and then Green and Edward scored at the death. So other Jamaican Premier League results today. Portmore defeated Spanish Town Police, our squaddy, 1-0. Arnett the Junglers defeated Big Bad Flying Chapelton 1-0. Racing defeated Treasure Beach 4-2. Mount Pleasant defeated Cavalier 2-1. And later on, kicking off later, Montego Bay will take on Tivoli. The standing junior.
So you come start up my side.
Which one? Veer?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they have to get beaten at some point. I mean, come on. Might as well them get that first beaten out of them skin. Junior, it's an unusual or strange sight at the top of the Jamaican Premier League. Racing and Chapelton sitting on 9 points. Montego Bay United 7. Montego Bay and Portmore on 7 points. Waterhouse, Firehouse, and Arnett Gardner on 6 points. Mount Pleasant in 7th on 5. Tivoli 4. Cavalier 4. Treasure Beach 4. Dumbo Holding 3. Mullines. Well, Mullines start the season close to relegation already. Harbour View on 3 points. No, Harbour View on 1 point. And Spanish Town look like dog name them supper. The police, squaddy, down a gully.
With a legendary coach at that. Him get the license yet?
Oh, legendary Bradley Stewart. Actually, we need to follow up. I don't know if it's Bradley Stewart that's sitting on the bench for the Spanish Town because his paperwork had to get checked.
Yeah.
Junior, it's early one be yet in the Jamaican Premier League, but again, we're seeing a bit of continuation of some of the same issues last year for Harborview.
Yeah. Who started with we did talk about them in the halftime show. I would say that they were coming out with a youth initiative again. They went back to the youth initiative.
Yes, we did.
But
yeah.
the youth them better grow quick because you don't want these losses to pile up. They started out. It wasn't. They never started with a draw, right? Or they did draw.
Yeah, they did.
The first game they drew. Yeah, they drew with Cavalier. That was the first game. They drew with Cavalier.
Yes.
Then they lost.
But there was a lot of optimism after the draw. They took a point off Cavalier. Of course, Cavalier, the defending champion.
Right, but then Chapelton came in and did them in. So, it's still early days. I don't think you can really sound off too much alarm bells, especially when we know that a team like Cavalier is expected to still be at the top when it's all said and done. And right now, they're fourth or fifth on 7 points. So, I know I think they're lower than that. So, we're still early. Wait and see. Just enjoy the game, them. We're kind of skeptical about this one love thing, but we talk off here.
One
love
but you
TV
mentioned
thing.
that thing on here, Junior. Now the people might wonder what sort of skepticism.
I'll do my research and then I'll forward back.
All right, Junior will do his research. Jamaican Premier League. BM had something to say regarding what BM said. He says,
Don't get carried away with Chapelton. Last season, Chapelton was doing well initially. Then Butler started running off in mouth. We know how the season ended. I mean, Veer, not yeah. Well, yeah, but he learned from his mistakes. And Butler not run off in mouth right now.
Not run off in mouth right now. Well, racing. We talk about Chapelton and we discuss Chapelton impressive start. But we cannot ignore the fact that racing also has a very impressive start. And yeah, early one, but this is uncharted territory for racing.
Yeah, and what do you name? Hold on. I know Kelson. What racing big ball name? But I just 3 games. But with Chapelton, there's a Tajay Grant.
Yeah.
A Tajay Grant the youth name, right?
Yes.
I think Tajay are the baller, I think Tajay is the baller. And them have Giovanni Cunningham as well. But early returns, can they maintain it? And one thing with the JPL is a long season. It's not condensed. You have so many games that happen, and you have so much space in between the games. Them plus you have basically the league season. They go into your cup run, right? There's so much games left to be played. Can racing maintain it? You have Mount Pleasant. We don't know Cavaliers, the standard bearer. You have Mount Pleasant that is there as well. You have Arnett Gardens, who is a perennial big name, we call them that. You have all these potholes around racing right now that just cannot wait for them to just buck them toe and take a step off. So it's all about maintenance. Do they have the endurance to maintain? Do they have the drive? Do they have the resources to maintain? Because you can start well because you have a good group of talent in the but if the resources are not there to maintain a high quality of return, then that's when you see teams kind of fall to the wayside. That's when you see the Mount Pleasant with the one bag of money. That's when you see the Cavalier with the experience kind of take over. So I'm hoping just so that we can have a good season, that Racing can maintain and keep their foot to the pedal, to the ground.
Yeah, I mean, look, I agree with everything you said, but I also want to add this part about racing. Racing fans, I want me to talk to, want me to deal with. Enjoy it, yeah. Enjoy it. Every week when you win a game, you know, enjoy it. You know, should I enjoy that 5-1 victory over Arnett, fully loaded. The fact that this team went to Jungle, the Tony Parlin Stadium, Anthony Parlin Sports Complex over Jungle, and beat the big side 5-1. That's a huge statement win. Racing fans.
Yeah.
And I think that victory should galvanize this group and give Grant Cunningham, the entire racing organization, say, yo, we belong, we can compete with this team, or these teams. One game at a time, but you know, celebrate the thing. I mean, this is out of left field, brother. Out of left field.
Early days, but out of left field.
We are out of left field. Those are the results for this week's Jamaican Premier League score update. Again, Mobile United with Xavier Gilbert will play Tivoli later on. And I'm interested to see how this young player from Tivoli goes about it. Number 10 over Tivoli, because the youth look like him have some talent, but I'm still uncertain if he's going to make the next step. And I'm slipping on his name. Number 10, Nardo. What's name? Nardo? I don't remember his name. But
who is that for?
The number 10 over Tivoli. I think Nardo something in there. Don't remember his name. But the youth has some talent. And if polished and developed, the youth can really blossom into a really, 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 really big baller. Really big baller.
So there's definitely something to see in the Jamaican Premier League this year. Right?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely something to see. I think all eyes, I am personally looking forward to see what happened with this Veer Chapelton team. I mean, Cavalier and Rudolph Speed have spoken at length, emphasizing how it's a young team, how there's rebuilding and all these things are going on. But the strange thing for me is that Cavalier definitely lose some key pieces. I mean, Richard King and them lose the youth from Trinidad. But last year when the man play Messi in a CONCACAF Champions League, the coach, Mr. Speed, has said the side young. So what go on now? The CM's young side I get young again?
Well, I mean, it's a business now, right? And you move on, one of your big baller gone to Scotland. Now you now become a pipeline to Europe. And I'm not saying that tongue in cheek. I'm actually being dead serious when I say that. You can now turn it into a business and bring in some revenue and replenish your squad, rebuild your squad. We see Brighton do it for years. This is Southampton did it for years. Why can't Cavalier do it? Why can't Cavalier be the Jamaican Brighton?
Well,
or is that too disrespectful?
The Jamaican Brighton coach. All right. I that we'll get ready for Goma Riyadh. And let's see if the Jamaican Premier League website has been updated. because this is one of the things I get pissed off with regarding.
Oh, them have the recent scores.
Okay, so the recent scores them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the man them not building a brand and not grow the league. And sometimes it's dog them supper forget scores, brother. It's like it's season start and a man start update the thing. And then the season get to week 15 and then somebody say, well, yo, dog, JPS current gone this week, you know. Now update the thing, you know. And I say, like, how many times we go to the Jamaican Premier League side and it's just all news or all information. So I think Owen Williams or Owen Hill, Mr. Premier League chairman or whatever CEO of the league, needs to make sure that the social media, the page, them get updated with the most current information.
Yeah.
BM
says, remember when Harborview was the mother club in Jamaica? Now it's unrecognizable. Harborview gone to the dogs. Yeah, well,
Harborview got
empires rise, empires fall.
By the way, speaking of another thing when we need for Bonafire, pan Bugs of the Week with Intersecondary Schools Association with a Jamaican football report. Yo, Issa, I talk to you, President Wellington. It should not be difficult for Issa to post all schoolboy scores on their Facebook page. It should not be difficult. There has to be a portal, a site, a domain, a database where you get all of the results in.
Yeah.
And at the conclusion of match year.
I mean, and it's not, look, I would love to even get access to that spreadsheet. And what I mean by the spreadsheet is I'm a 1,000,000% sure if you don't have a media correspondent at the game, the coach or the home field coach have to send in the stats to the radio, right? I know back then, back in my day, when it was old time days, they had to send in the stats by 5 o'clock or something like that to make it to Underball. Remember, you had the Underball on the radio. Mm-hmm. You had to send in the stats at a certain time so it can be read out during the Underball program, right? It's the same thing. And I'm sure in this modern time, either somebody, you have a Google Doc, a Google Excel spreadsheet that everybody go in and update. And you just put in the score, and it's a shared site. And you just have a coder, right? Go to that link, take home, take away, and post it to an API on your Facebook page. I have a code that does that. I have a code that go in and pull all the scores, and we have the BallChat fancy schedule thing that we're going to start posting on social media and thing. It's not that hard, Issa. So we really deserve a bug of the week for this, you know. Okay, it's not that hard.
You know, sometimes it's just so hard to find scores of football games. I mean, I said, Bridget, why is this so difficult? And I mean, consistently, games play, you have a round, you have a schedule, you drop the schedule, and here are the results. Boom, bam, 5 minutes worth of work.
You know what? It's a link way. If not as easy as you're making it seem, however, it is easy once you have a little bit of resource. And like I said, I am sure those scores, when you listen to the radio, you watch it on news, and them say, in today's Jamaica, in today's Manning Cup games, this beat that information was gathered by somebody, right? That person who gathered that information, Issa should be able to get that same media printout, and it's in Excel. More likely, it's in Excel, or it's in Excel, or it's in not CVS, CSV. It's either in Excel or a CSV format. Take it, have a code that got you and is comma delimited. And for all the people out there who know about coding and and spreadsheets or whatever is so easy. But you need that metadata. And you already have somebody that is sitting down in the media house collecting that metadata. Just link them ISA and say, yo, send on this. And you get the information. It's easy. It's easy. You know what? Link BallChat. BallChat offer that service, you know. Link BallChat.
BM says it's unfortunate Owen Hill and Chris Williams are no longer part of the league, as in the Jamaican Premier League. I think Owen Hill tendered his resignation. Chris Williams' tenure ended as chairman of the Premier League football, PFGL.
Hold on. I know Chris Williams this said during COVID that week. Remember we covered during COVID. And Chris Williams said,
I think he has built out the league, and now the league he can move on to other things. He have other things he want to keep an eye on.
Remember Chris said, I can see them being like you said,
IPO.
like EPL or something like that. Remember?
Yeah, I mean, part of the vision is that to attract investors like mom and pop, buy shares in the league.
But granted, what he did during COVID have to be commended.
Yeah, man.
Have to be commended. So hats off to Chris Williams, Mr. Chris Williams himself.
Outstanding job.
Hats off.
And I presume that the league is financially in a better place, i.e. Jamaican Premier League. So Chris Williams, I think, is left it in a better financial standing than he saw it.
Yeah.
Because I never remember now if a social media and print and if a TV right thing I get run out when prior to these individuals. And then the COVID thing, the COVID pandemic damage and destroy a lot of leagues globally. And I think Chris Williams was able to ride through that. And hopefully the Jamaican Premier League is in a better place financially. As for Owen Hill, I think Owen Hill tendered his resignation. I saw a story where Chris Williams said, well, we can't make him get away. I.e., them must want to accept the resignation or the letter or whatever. So I don't know the status of Owen Hill. I think when Cameron forward back, she will have to give us an update because she has her hands on the pulse of Jamaican football and the ground thing. Scores from schoolboy football in Jamaica. BB Coke and Stets 0-0. Viertech and Garver Messiers ended 2-1 in favor of Garver Messiers. Garver Messier Homo defeated Mile Gully 1-0. Glenmuir defeated Demby 3-0. Now, I want to say the teacher left Clarendon College, aka Teacher Hyde. Lenworth Teacher Hyde, of course, he built that outstanding program at Clarendon and gone over Glenmuir. I think he's at Glenmuir. And Glenmuir has been very close. And because Clarendon College turned them over or something or the other. So they weren't able to win as many trophies because they would run up into Clarendon College.
Yep.
Now my question to you, Junior, is that the brother who built Glenmuir must feel like dog, eh?
Yeah. Empires rise, empires fall.
And BM can correct me if it's Glenmuir, because I am almost certain Teacher Hyde is the one coaching Glenmuir. I guess the Veer Phoenix thing all of a sudden never works at Glenmuir. He left Clarendon, now he's at Glenmuir. Excellent manager, excellent coach. Glenmuir Teacher Hyde. Fern Court defeated Marcus Garvey 5-0. Green Pond defeated, suffered a 2-1 defeat to St. James High. Ocherios 8. Discovery Bay 0. Cornwall 7 over Irwin. The man school them are going well. Cornwall College. Big side. Maldon 5 over Herbert Morrison. Cambridge and Froome drew 1-1. Green Island and Rossies 1-1. William Nib 2-1 over Spot Valley. Belier defeated Cross Keys 7-0. Petersfield 1-0 over Black River My Bush. Petersfield, big up yourself. Why is Petersfield playing Black River though? Black River and then we are called corner for Petersfield.
Well, it's good. It's good for them to go over there and see other parts of the island.
Petersfield supposed to be playing Mannings, Godfrey Stewart, Froome, and that's it. Them are supposed to drive
We
the
see
Black
them
River.
side their preseason. We see them side their preseason.
Little London and Louisville, where this are school are there? Louisville, 4-1 over Little London. You know where this are school are there?
No.
Tivoli
So like a
Gardens
bossy
defeated
school.
Charleston 2-1, Central 5-0 over Lennon. That's the schoolboy football roundup for Jamaican Football Report family. Anything you want to say? I'm not saying no added score, no Kingston College score, no JC score. Anything you want to say?
And watch your space. Watch your space. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, people. That more answer.
By the way, Woolman stop play ball.
What is wrong with you, man?
No, me no know. Them not play the same.
Ball is Woolman's. Ball is Woolman's.
Say, some schools withdrew from the tournament, but me not see no Woolman's this season, so I don't know if they might play ball.
Sir, we are in preseason mode, sir.
Okay, all right. BM says, I understand empires rise and fall. However, how come Real Madrid and Barcelona are still stronger after decades? It comes down to management. That one is for you, Junior, and proper leadership.
No, because Barca fell for years. We're just going to act like Brathwaite period at Barcelona didn't exist. We're just going to omit that out of the memory, right?
Yeah, but Barcelona was still playing Champions League football.
Well, okay. So if that's your measurement for
and Barcelona
greatness,
was
then that
also still winning La Liga. I presume when you talk about Empire's fall, is aside who the 14 in the English Premier League and not winning any trophies. So, I mean, I don't know, you have to tell me about the Empire's fall and rise. When it fall, where you consider fall? Because, yes, Barcelona, by their high standard, has definitely fallen off, but Barcelona was still achieving monumental.
That's all. I rest my case.
Nothing. Somebody just why you're with the Empire fall then. Man, I brush off him color. That's it for Jamaican Football Report. Big up to all the listeners. BM says, and proper leadership regarding.
That's true.
Yeah, man.
That's true.
It's been a long day, family. World Championship watch along. World Athletics Championship watch along. Check it out. If you want to relive some of the memories of Jamaica winning the 100 meters men, and finishing second in the women. Manchester Derby, check it out if you want if you're a Man City fan and you want to relive the commentary. Junior, I hit that, I think we have some cricket watch along coming up in the middle of the week. In the playoff round of the Caribbean CPL. We'll see. I think Tuesday night we'll do a watch along for that. Halftime show in the middle of the week, Wednesday night. Of course, we'll do a recap of the week that was,
Yep.
Football family, connect with us on Instagram, all social media platform. We did it. Link we, send a message, heal we. Big up to all the listeners. Remember to subscribe. Take care of yourself. Try safely in the week. Tell a friend about the show. Yo, tired. Gone over yard. Gone.
Later.